Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about an important part of Canada that unfortunately all too often is overlooked in Canadian elections, and that's entrepreneurs and Canadian small businesses. It sometimes startles people when I point out that 98% of Canadian businesses are small businesses. These small businesses are the backbone of many Canadian communities, particularly in rural and small town Canada. Starting a small business is often the gateway that many new Canadians use to build a better life. Therefore, in a time of global economic uncertainty, ensuring that we provide stable, certain climate that small businesses expect and deserve, that's vital to everything they do. Owning a small business is a full-time job, and a tough one at that. You don't have time to become a full-time professional protester. You don't have the money to hire a full-time professional lobbyist. But when governments set their economic policies, delivering for small businesses must be fundamental to everything we do. Conservatives realize that it's not easy for those entrepreneurs to pay the bills and make ends meet, particularly in times of rising prices. That is why, earlier today, Prime Minister Stephen Harper announced that a re-elected Conservative government will deliver 2 new sources of tax relief for small business. A Conservative government will raise the small business income eligibility threshold by 25% to $500,000. And we will index the new increased lifetime capital gains exemption to inflation. Together, these 2 measures will save small businesses $220 million per year. This means more businesses will stay open and more jobs will be both created and protected. Now there's another choice in this election, the choice represented by the Stéphane Dion Liberals. Quite frankly, based on their past positions and public statements alone, it is clear that the Dion Liberals would take our small business economy down a very different path. Here are the facts. Stéphane Dion wants to impose a carbon tax. This will increase the cost of fuel, electricity, food, and everything else. It will increase the cost of doing business and put thousands of jobs at risk in order to pay for billions worth of Dion Liberal spending promises. In fact, it's no wonder that the Canadian Federation of Independent Business launched an urgent appeal earlier this year, calling on government to, quote, place a moratorium on any discussion or implementation of additional fuel or carbon taxes. Stéphane Dion has also, in the past, admitted that he would consider an increase in the GST. This would raise expenses for small business, as well as reduce demand for the products and services they sell. The Dion Liberals have tried to obstruct real solutions to the immigration backlog, a problem that the Liberals themselves created. Liberal inaction on immigration allowed the backlog to grow from 50,000 to over 800,000 people, slowing the flow of skilled immigrants to Canada and putting even more small businesses at risk. And Stéphane Dion Liberals have failed to support budgets implementing real, practical ideas that would help small businesses grow, create jobs, and succeed, including, for example, the red tape cutting BizPal initiative. The Dion Liberals also proposed a ban on replacement workers through a private member's bill. This would seriously damage small businesses that rely on federally regulated companies such as Canada Post or any transportation network to keep their businesses running smoothly. And of course, perhaps the most worrying is that Stéphane Dion's right-hand man is Bob Rae, who as Premier of Ontario tried to spend his way out of a recession. When that failed, Rae increased taxes and red tape for businesses and individuals. Many Ontarians still remember the tens of thousands of jobs that were lost over that time. Small businesses are the real engine of our economy. They deserve stable, certain leadership, and real respect. Small businesses are right to feel neglected by the Diane Liberal obsession with theoretical programs and special interests. They deserve real, tangible solutions to the rising cost of doing business, and they need it now. Today we are launching an information tour and literature program to inform small businesses and the people who work for them of the risks that they face with the Diane Liberals. Small businesses have just too much at stake to risk their future on Stéphane Diane. And indeed, when the time comes to make a choice, we believe that small businesses will put their trust in the strong, certain, and stable leadership of Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Thank you very much. Now, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those as well.
Sorry, the Liberals have said repeatedly that they don't plan to increase the GST. In fact, I think the statement they released said something like there will be no increase in the GST, period. Why do the Conservatives continue saying that the Liberals, in fact, are considering this?
I think what worries most Canadians is that the Liberals' first instinct when we reduced the GST was to oppose it. And as you know, Stéphane Diane stood in front of the cameras. We was asked whether he would raise the GST again. He said he would consider that. Now, during the heat of an election, no, he's made some opposite statements. But I think it's still very, very worrisome that the Liberals talked to not just the leader, but others, about re-raising the GST. So I don't think we can be entirely confident that that is not on their minds and on a possible future agenda. We know where the Conservatives stand. Stephen Harper promised during the last election to reduce the GST. He kept the promise. He actually kept the promise early. GST was reduced by 2 percentage points. We don't want to see that rolled back in any way. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to getting this information out and some good discussions with small business as I go through the campaign. Thank you.